Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm going to show you how to change the strings on a acoustic guitar. This works for just about all of them unless you got some, like a nylon guitar where you have to tie the strings around. I do not have one of those. So I'm just going to show you how to change the strings on one of these. So you're going to need some tools. First of all, you're going to need a small knife. I hope YouTube will let me have that. This isn't really a tool, but I like to have fretboard oil on me. I don't have any polish on me. I left it somewhere else, but when you do change strings, always make sure to have polish to polish it up. Of course, the new strings. These are files for the nut up here and the nut down here, the bridge down here. And then some extra parts just in case you break anything. These are extra pegs for the strings. Then, for prying, you can use screwdrivers, or you can lightly pry with one of these, or you could use these right here, which are specialty for doing this, and strings at the end here. Then you're gonna need some Allen keys, which you don't need this if you're using the same gauge strings. Some Allen keys to adjust the truss rod if you need to. So there's that. So first things first, what you need to do is you need to cut your strings. I like to hold on to this part with one hand just so it doesn't snap back at your face. What you're gonna do is you can unwind them. But what I like to do is I like to cut them because it's just a little bit easier. You can take your... All right, now that's done. You need to take them out of here. Now here's the hard part. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. You can grab yourself a guitar pick. And what you can do is you could stick your hand in there and push the pegs up through the bottom. But my hand's too big for this little guitar. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to pry these out. Okay. As you see, I cannot get them out with a knife because they're in there stuck for some reason. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna carefully take them out with some plier-like tools, just like this. And I dropped it in there. See how I'm not tightly gripping them, so it has like no effect to the peg. Let's get that out of there. All right. Now we do our that's old. Now we do our next 4. Now you just take your strings out just like that. All right, now we need to get that other peg out. All right. Make sure you keep all your pegs. Make sure you don't lose them, or else you're gonna have to use your spares. These are expensive, I think. I don't know, I just have them. Now, your next thing you wanna do is you wanna take your knife or something to clean these things out. I don't know if you really see because of the light, but they're nasty inside. So I'm just gonna clean these out real quickly. All right, now that that's done, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your knife or blade of some sort, or something that's got a sharp edge. What you're gonna do, carefully, is along this neck, there's gonna be a lot of chud or finger grease, dead skin, all that stuff. It's deep in the wood. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your knife, you're gonna put it at a slight angle. Do not push on it. Just lightly scrape. Just minimal pressure, just so you can get that stuff off. And it gets all that chud off. And you want to do this for every fret, so it makes your fretboard look like new. When you get that fretboard oil on there, it's going to make it shine, look like new. Now, personally, I do not have the parts to make your frets shine. This is just how to change strings, make your fretboard just look a little bit cleaner. So I'm going to do this real quick. All right, now that that's done, what you're gonna need to do is, I like to do it. I like to take some fretboard oil and get me a rag. Doesn't have to be real fancy, except for when you're polishing your guitar, you might want to use a microfiber cloth. Actually, I suggest using a microfiber cloth. Can't talk. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your fretboard oil and generously put some on there. Generously. Oop. It's oily. What you're gonna do is you're gonna take your rag, make sure it really gets into those frets. And this is what cleans up the fretboard. Also kind of gives it a little bit of a shiny polish. Makes it a little bit nicer. It's got a lemony smell to it. Alright, now that's all in there, it's time for strings. Now, strings is probably the most, putting the strings on is the hardest part of doing this all, because you gotta know what you're doing for putting them in. Actually, you know what? I'd suggest getting some of this dirt out of these edges right here with like a little edge or something that you can get in there. I might actually have a tool for this. I think I might. Guess not. Oh, I do. A little thing, like a little pick. You can lightly scrape all this gunk out of there. And that's, you know, what gets all your gunk out of there. You take your rag, you could put a little something on there, kind of stick it in these holes, twist a little bit to get all that gunk and dirt out. You don't want these slipping out because of the dust. Next, what you're going to do, take your E string, your high or low E string, whatever you want to call it, or your sixth string. I like to go heaviest to lightest. So, nice. I package every one of these strings. You're gonna take a string. Oh my goodness. Okay, there we go. Oh, you're gonna take your string. What you're gonna do is you're gonna line this up with your peg. There's a little like groove in here. This is gonna be aligned with the string. So hold on to the string like this, and your little knot right there is gonna be at the bottom. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it through the first hole, and then right after that you're gonna put your peg in, and you're gonna put it in as tight as possible. Do not put so much pressure that you will break this. So just put enough just to get the thing in there without it breaking. So what I like to do is after that, I'll get my files. We'll check the gauge of the strings, which this is I'm pretty sure this is the high E string, I'm pretty sure is 10s, so the low E should be about a 45. Yeah, it's a 45. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take our file, we're gonna make sure it's the right size, and if it's not the right size, well, like I said, take the file it down, make it the right size. For the next string, do the next size down. You just need to know what every size string is. The next size down, and then you'll continue to file these up and down to help make everything flush. Now this nut fell off actually, so I put a new one on here, but it's still nasty because this guitar hasn't been played in quite a long time. As in quite a long time, I mean since yesterday. But it's a piece of junk, so you also need to file these parts down with this. I know I forgot to do this. I'm a very forgetful person. So you're gonna take your E string and you're just gonna put on here. Now, I don't do all those fancy dancy knots that people do because, I mean, what's it really for? You're gonna put it in. Now, for the E string, I like to go right about to the 2nd fret and give myself a hand and two fingers of space. So if you want a down tune or something, you have plenty of room for that. I don't do any fancy knots, but I do a twisty move. So I don't have any speed tuners just because I just don't. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go over the excess once, and then you're gonna go under it the rest of the times. So now at this point we really shouldn't be worried about tuning, just worried about getting the strings on there. So I'm going to take this and show you what it should look like. So it goes over once. I'll move this. It goes over once, and then you can see it goes under, and it's in between those two strings, so it's kind of sandwiched, so it's not gonna move. So put my phone back in my homemade stand or holder. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut that string as short as possible, but we're gonna get it, first we're gonna twist it out of the way of this string. What we're gonna do is you can take your Leatherman, or you can take these special strings I have for cutting. You're gonna put up as close as possible without hitting the string that's being played. It's gonna snippy snip, like that. It's good. Now that will poke you, so be careful when putting your other strings on, because that will poke you, like I said. Now you repeat. I'm going to come back when all these were in, and then I'll show you what to do after that. All right, I got all the strings done, and I'll show you how they should look up at the headstock. The headstock, they should all come like to a way where they all like, oh my gosh, I can't talk. So the first three, or the bottom three, should go up and turn this way up. They should spiral this way up at the top. Now the top three should come up and go to the top and spiral around that way at the top. Now I realized I forgot to show you how to do the truss rod. This one, the truss rod is already set. I already set it before because they're the same gauge strings. But for setting a truss rod, you'll either find it right in here under the in the hole under the neck, or some guitars have it under a little cover right here. So what you'll do is, for tightening it, we'll just say we take it, we put it in here. To tighten it, you turn it that way, and to loosen it, you turn it this way, just like a regular screw. And what you use to tighten, oh my gosh, what you tighten and loosen it for is if you do this and your neck is bowing, which means it'll curve like a bow, you need to tighten it because your strings are too thick and too heavy. So you'll need to tighten it to get it set to where it's not bowing at all and your action is just how you like it. And for when you just put your strings on, you'll hear a little bit of popping and snapping from the strings. Like, they won't break, but you hear a little bit of popping for them popping into place because you could have put the string in too far through here. But they'll, make some sounds while you're tightening them up. But one thing you will want to do is when you put the strings on, I already did this and I already tuned it, but you need to stretch out the strings. So I take one finger and kind of just stretch them out lightly. What this does is it stretches out the strings. When you tune them, they don't go out of tune easy because they're already stretched and they don't need, stretching out. I just tuned it. I think it might be a little out of tune because I stretched them. They're a little out of tune. Now you can play your favorite acoustic guitar tune. Now, if there's any other kind of videos you would like me to do, put them in the comments below, like informational videos, how-to videos, like how to write music, how to play music, how to read tablature, how to read regular music, all that kind of stuff for guitar, or I could possibly do bass. I would just need to be let know. Like I said, in the comments below, let me know what kind of stuff you'd like me to do, and thanks for watching, and please subscribe.